Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Polari, and well, we don't do Yoruba programs, but if we did, I guess it would be only proper for me to be greeting you for the Odun of yesterday. But I don't think the English don't do that. If it were Yoruba, they would say Adeku Oduano. That is to say, for those who don't speak Yoruba, greeting us on, greeting whoever on the independence anniversary, 65th, that we were all present. And we were addressed by the president, and we had a lot of conversations about it. And in fact, we are continuing today. It's that important, a landmark. President Tinubu addressed the nation. We'll probably touch on some of the things that he was telling us about yesterday, especially his commitment irrevocably to the unfinished business of nation building, which is talking about all his reforms. Okay, two guests today, but let me just start with Prince Oyelude Oladele. He's the Director General of the Tinubu Shetima Ambassadors. Good morning to you, Prince Oladele.
Good morning, thank you very much.
Okay, and well, I can congratulate you, as I can any other Nigerian, on yesterday's anniversary. And the president's address, it was a bit long, but there wasn't any part of it that I think could not have been included. So that's why usually these things don't last up to 30 minutes, but it was a comprehensive address that the president gave us. And as I was just saying, it centers on, if you ask me, the president's irrevocable commitment to the unfinished business of nation building, after paying tribute to leaders that had come before him who had done their own part, and that he was also committed irrevocably to continuing that till we get to where we want to be. Now, we're not quite there yet, but I think in the conversations we had yesterday, it was decided that, well, it was sort of agreed that there have been changes. We are in the process of change. It might not be where we want to be. We might have wanted it to be faster and perhaps much more in evidence, but nevertheless, there are these changes that are going on subtly. Look at all the reforms. So tell us about that. Which reforms of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration caught your eye in this particular regard?
Yeah, thank you very much. Happy independence to you as well.
Indeed, thank you.
If you look at the address of Mr. President yesterday, you know that he has said it all, and we Nigerians have to look at, go through it, read it, and pick points out of it. And you can attest to it that since yesterday, you can really read less from critics, because all the points he made mention in his press release are valid, and they are progressing. And just like you ask, which of the reform, that I found very interesting and admire more. Yeah, which is the local government autonomy, the fuel subsidy removal and the local government autonomy.
Okay, yeah. That's a big one. And we can also add the, complete overhauling of our taxation system as well. That's another big one, isn't it? Okay, you didn't hear me.
You said what?
I said the tax reforms, that's another big one. That's another big one too.
Yes, that's another big one, yes. But just like you had, the one that I find very interested more,
yes,
is the the removal of subsidy,
yes,
and the local government autonomy.
Okay.
And likewise the tax reform, and even because the removal of subsidy allows so many reforms to come on board, and without the removal of subsidy, there is no how most of the the reform can work out.
Okay.
Like the fiscal reform policy and all, without the removal of fuel subsidy, there is no how you can have it. And as I always say, that the local government autonomy of a thing is like an antidote of the removal of fuel subsidy. Oh. And I think I can analyze that if you allow me.
Well, I'll come to you, but let me also bring on our other guest. That must be, and here, correct me if I'm wrong, it's either Malam or Alhaji Usman Mohammed Anache, Grassroots Advocacy for Peace and Good Governance. Is that Alhaji or Malam, sir? Good morning.
Any of sir.
Which means it is both. If either is correct, it means that it can also be both. But Malam is in the nature of a teacher, if I'm right.
Yes.
And then Alhaji is more a religious kind of a title.
Yes.
So, indeed, very good. So congratulations, as we do, you know, from my little neck of the woods, we congratulate people for what happened yesterday if it was good. So in that way, sort of congratulating you two on yesterday's anniversary, the 65th anniversary, whereupon the president addressed us. Now, as you know, we're talking about, we're focusing on impactful reforms. And the other guest, by the way, is Prince Oyelude Oladile, who is DG of the Tinubu Shetima Ambassadors. And now we have you, Grassroots Advocacy for Peace and Good Governance. In terms of reforms, I asked him the question, let me ask you the same questions. There are quite a number of them, a whole basket full of reforms, which, if you were to take 3 or 4, which ones would you mention?
In addition to what they said of that of tax,
yes,
and the local government reforms,
aha,
the most important one is petroleum reforms.
Yes, yes.
The petroleum sector reform is the best.
There's also, okay, sorry, please continue.
Yes, of all policies that happens in Nigeria, and there is this increase of allocation of funds.
Yes.
To both states and the local governments.
And there's also, we might come back and talk about these one after the other. We'll see how it goes. But there's also the whole matter of students' loans. It's like for the first time, I think that's, you see, the thing is, it's not as easy as that unless you've made a note of it, as some of us have, because so many reforms have happened. And this reminds me of a line in the president's presentation yesterday where after he commended leaders that had come before him who had done their bit, he said he's irrevocably committed to the unfinished business of nation building. So he's continuing to build the nation. He's been giving us words of succor, words of encouragement, and indeed proof beyond all of that. Proof. He was mentioning figures like, you know, we'll touch it when we get to it. But I think he was saying that the inflation indices are down from where they used to be. And even though there are those of us that might say it's a bit high, we still have to, you know, mention those things that are successes. Okay. Now, thank you very much, Alhaji Usman Mohammed Anache, for starting off there. Now, let me return to Prince Oladile. Yes, which one should we take and talk a bit about? Because everyone seems to be quite happy with the local government financing aspect, where there's a law now, you don't have a choice. You must make funds available to local governments. Talk to us about that a bit.
Well, we have to give kudos to Mr. President, you know, for giving Nigerians that freedom of financial autonomy at the grassroots. Because this is a very difficult task that a first-timer president shouldn't even dare it. But if we look at it, the president is looking beyond his second term, because if he is to consider his re-election, he will not even dabble into that.
I've heard that.
Because this is a reform. This is a reform that even his predecessors cannot, you know, take action upon. Nigerians have been looking for an avenue whereby the local government will have financial freedom. But the past presidents failed to do that, failed to give it to Nigerians. But he came on board now and decided to remove, to declare financial autonomy for the local governments. And if you look at it, I would love to use my state as an, as an example. And we all know what is happening right now in the states. If you look at it, there is no local government that is earning below 300 million now. From February to August in my state, according to indices from the Accountant
You haven't mentioned the state.
Budget,
you're keeping us in suspense as to your beloved state.
I'm just trying to use that, to
But you didn't tell us
what is on ground.
Is it Ogun or is it Osun?
Osun State, my state.
Osun
State.
My bad.
Yes.
My bad. I missed it. Please continue, sir.
Yeah, and my local government is Ayedire local government.
Okay.
So I'm from the indices from the Accountant General Office and the budgets and internet advocacy for financial, regulation. So we discovered that there is no local government that is earning less than 300 million naira. And, I set up a group called the Advocacy for Local Government Autonomy in Nigeria.
Okay.
So whereby we're advocating for the financial autonomy of local governments. And we discovered that that's a huge amount of money that are going to the local government, to the grassroots, are not being given directly to the local government.
Yeah.
So immediately the president came on board. After the removal of fuel subsidy, he declared local governments autonomy. And I see that as an antidote for the removal of fuel subsidy, because everybody believes that immediately you remove fuel subsidy, everything will definitely skyrocket, the price of everything will increase. But the best thing is that the removal of subsidy will increase the allocation of the state governors, the federal and the local governments. So if that money is going back to the people that, that's supposed to get it and make sure they utilize it to get whatever they want to buy, people will not complain too much. But the money is not going straight to the local governments. The money is going to the joint account of the state governors and the local government chairman. So whereby they find it difficult, the governors will decide on how the local government will spend their own money. So the question is, if the president is deciding how the state governors will spend their money, definitely the country will not be in order. So the declaration of local government autonomy is the best thing that has happened to Nigeria. But up to date, it's not yet effective. And I believe that the president will still work on it. I think that's why he said unfinished reform or something like that. In this thing. So these are things, these are areas which I think maybe even if he cannot finish it in his first term, his second term he should make it a priority to ensure that the local governments council, they have their financial autonomy directly. The local governments councillors should act like the National Assembly members to their chairmen, the way the senator and the reps are acting, in regulating the activities of the president. The councillors also should do that, to regulate the activities and make laws for the chairman at the grassroots.
Okay.
So for instance, in my local government now, in February till August, the least amount we receive from the federal government is 350 million naira. And according to my statistics, before the increments of salaries and even the removal of subsidy that lead to the increment of salary, the total payments for the civil servants in my local government is approximately 30 million naira. So now let's assume that there are increments in the salaries of the local government staffs. I don't think the increment is beyond 60%, 120% rather, because it's like times 2 or times 3, from 30,000 naira to 70,000 naira. Okay. It's around 113%. So if that is the case, I think from 30 million naira that the local government have been using to pay the workers, I think it's going to increase to like maybe 80 or thereabouts. So if you deduct, let's even assume it's 100 million naira. If you deduct that from the allocation that is going to my local government, you will still discover that you have excess on ground. But if you go to my local government now, there is no road, there is no water, there is nothing to show that this sum of money is going down to the grassroots.
I hear you.
So if the local governments are getting that fund directly, the community, the citizens of each local government will be able to hold their chairman ransom. And, he will not
to
have
account,
any choice
not ransom, to hold them to account.
In the local government.
Yeah, I hope they don't take the chairman ransom.
Yes, okay. That is the best reform that I think the president has done so far, in addition to others.
All right, then. Alhaji Usman, the other thing that I noted, and I think it has been referred to obliquely here, is that the removal of fuel subsidy was an act, something of political courage. Because when Prince Oyelude was speaking, he had mentioned the fact that these are not things that people usually do, presidents usually do in their first term because of the pain and unpopularity. So I want you to, how do you see the president in relation to this particular aspect of governance, political courage? Because it's the unfinished business of nation building that he has pledged, that he is committed to. How do you see his political courage?
You see, it takes a very, very courageous person to remove fuel subsidy in Nigeria. No matter what the benefit, people will not understand. But now people begin to understand. So I commend the courage of Mr. President to reform this sector. You see, what happened is this. If you observe all of what has been given to states, to local governments, the increase in the budget, and the other things as a result of this removal of this fuel subsidy. As we have keep saying for a long time that very few people earn this subsidy. It is actually true. Because now, when it was removed, and President is now leveraging it all over the nation. So everybody in the country, from the states, the federal, and the local governments, are now seeing the benefit, including the students, including everybody. So including the small-scale industries, including the medium industries, everybody is seeing the benefit of removal of that fuel subsidy. Because this money that has been used to develop all these sectors are now being siphoned, are now before being siphoned by some certain few individuals. You see, I just want to say a few things on this autonomy, which I have finished speaking. This autonomy, the actual fear, you see, is by the state governors. That the money that's coming to the joint account may not be there. So luckily, the fear was being cleared by Mr. President by increasing their own share to whatever the amount they need to utilize in their various states. So it has been cleared. And there is also problems in the local governments also, because the local governments, if the joint account is cancelled, some of these local governments cannot even afford to pay salary. So that joint account is helping some local government to get the money by the state contribution, and some agencies that the state contribute, the local government contribute. So they are using that joint account to do it. So the federal government again, the president again increased the allocation to this local government so that those who cannot sustain themselves can sustain themselves. The state governments that have fear that their money will reduce now has their own money. So all the fear within the system of this local government autonomy has been completely eliminated by President. So this is one of the best reforms, and this is the reforming the West Africa, not only Nigeria, because when you reform the Nigerian local governments, you are reforming the whole Africa. You see, Mr. President actually is a man of courage who knows business before, and actually, where his action is more than his voice. He speaks less.
Yeah.
Yes, and he did action. But we at the grassroots, we know what we are saying, and we know what we have seen. Something, even this alleviation that has been distributed to our poor people, most of the time it doesn't get to them. But this time around, go and check any locality. This disbursement has reached the actual person. The students, It should only be on the air. But now, go and see the students now who are actually benefited from the. So our own problem initially, since independent, is not the plan, is not the way to do, is not the theory, but the actual making it practical, to make it work. That is where we got it wrong. And there is no development in any sector in the whole world that comes without challenges. So the challenges of Nigeria is Nigerians. We started pursuing the challenges of certain issues, ignoring the development. When development comes, we don't look at that development. We tend to look at the challenges of that development instead of looking at the development. For example, when telecommunication comes, people start saying we don't have electricity. So if telecommunications come, how much shall we call? Then, President Obasanjo said, okay, let us make it liberal, let us bring more companies, give the people a choice. So the telecommunications come, they say they have to use the diesel, they have to use the generators. Okay, using the generators to generate this communication, which one is better than bringing this communication into the country? Using generator. So this is what we are saying. Nigeria should not be only looking at the challenges. There is no development whatsoever that comes along without a challenge. But don't look at the challenge, look at the development and the focus. Okay. This renewal hope agenda is a very, very good agenda, because before the poor man in the grassroots locality has almost lost hope. This is the truth about it. But now the hope has been renewed. And actually we have been re-energized to now come back to our senses and be Nigerians. Okay. And we're actually Nigerians. And we are grateful to the President of the Republic, his governors and his ministers. We're very grateful to them.
Yes. Prince Oladele, the last time I asked you a question when you were responding, you know, the unfinished business of nation building that the president spoke about, well, one read that you took of it was maybe things that he wanted to do, talking about himself. But because the man had spoken earlier about those who had preceded him in office, and we all know that governance, you know, is not a one-man affair. In fact, there are very few things that can be done completely within one term. So I think the president, that's my personal take, I think the president was really referring to, you know, unfinished business through the administrations, things that you and I can mention things that if only we had started 10, 15, 20 years ago on things we are doing now, we would have been at a very, you know, farther down the road, so to speak. But all of that was as a prelude to ask you about what you think of the president's tax reform. We're still talking about political courage. Of course, it is also going to help the economy and all of that. But there was the explanation that this is not about squeezing people the more. Oh, no, because after all, those that are down there, so to speak, are exempt from tax up to a certain figure. But that is another aspect of political courage, don't you think? Because as you know, there was a sort of a pushback on it. But then the president, this is a different style from what we've seen in the past. All his men, you remember the expression, all the president's men, they sort of took time out to explain what was involved in this taxation. They went around the country. They had meetings with governors. And I think at the end of the day, everybody now saw that, okay, all right, now that we understand it. So we still go back to the man and his courage, his political sagacity, one, and then his political courage, because a lot of people are also wise, but also know how to take care of themselves in terms of that one, it will cause trouble. The president is looking at, I don't think, it's not about what will cause trouble, but what we need and that has been missing for a while, and here I am, I'm going to do it. Actually, we still have Alhaji Usman's photo there, but I don't know why, because I'm speaking to Prince Oyelude. Prince Oyelude, would you like to take that on? Still talking about the president's political courage.
Yeah, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, even with his vice president, they are courageous men. Mm-hmm. And if you look at all what they've laid their hands upon as far as reform is concerned, you will discover that it is a courageous move. You will see that even the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and the former President Goodluck Jonathan wish to come back, to be the president of the country, because the president has taken a very courageous decision, to do what they failed to do when they were there. Atiku Abubakar failed to advise his boss, the president then, Obasanjo, on the removal of fuel subsidy and the local government autonomy. The same thing with Goodluck Jonathan. He wished to remove the fuel subsidy then, but he doesn't have that courage to do that. So all of us as a citizen, we must give kudos to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for taking that courage, for the removal of fuel subsidy and giving us local government autonomy, even if yet not well established as far as the local government autonomy is concerned. So, and on the issue of the tax reform, I think every policy amendable if there is any lapses, and that's why all is been the FIRS boss and the committee is set up, move around the country, meet with the governors, the youths, the women, different associations, to orientate them on how the tax reform is going to be. And if you look at it, it is for the benefit of the nation and even the citizen.
Exactly.
And
I tell you what, I beg your pardon. I'm so sorry to have interrupted you. I've got to take a quick break now, but I'll be right back. So do please stay with us, Prince Oyelude, Olawale, and Alhaji Usman Mohammed Anache. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Our guests are Prince Oyelude Oladele and Alhaji Usman Mohammed Anache. Both of them, well, especially Alhaji Anache is joining us remotely, and Prince Oyelude is joining us from our Abuja studio. Thank you both, gentlemen. So Prince, I interrupted you to take that break. Did you want to complete your thought on that matter?
Yeah, just like I said earlier before, that the tax reform is a very good reform for the country, and it's for the benefit of the nation and our citizens. Just like you made mention earlier before that the low-income earners will be exempted from, that tax, and the multiple tax that Nigerians were paying before, all has been abolished. So there is no how the tax will be on board. It is for the fiscal reform of the country as well, because if the tax are reformed, there are more money that will come into the coffers of the country, whereby the states, the local government will be able to share as well. And for people that are claiming maybe is to withdraw a district or a region or not, when the committee set up by Mr. President visited the governors in all across the region, they discovered that it is for the betterment of all Nigerians and not to withdraw any tribe or any ethnic groups. And if you look at it, there is no equity before now. And the tax reform is coming with genuine equity, whereby there will be a reasonable sharing formula among those that contributed more and those that contributed less.
Yes.
So these are the things that we all have to embrace in the tax reform.
Okay. Okay, now, Alhaji, let me come to you. For some reason, the word courage has come in a lot. I brought that up, but I then decided that looking at just about almost everything the president has done has called for a certain amount of courage, and he has unflinchingly taken those decisions that need to be taken. I'm just looking at his speech here. As a new administration, I'm paraphrasing the president here. Well, not paraphrasing, I'm directly quoting. He says, "We chose the path of reform. We chose the path of tomorrow over the comfort of today." That again encapsulates everything, the mindset of the president. It's easier to go along with the status quo, go along with what we have today, But the president said that, look, if tables need to be broken, let us break them. You know, the important thing is I'm thinking about tomorrow, not about the relative comfort of today. And besides, he has kept an eye on, you know, a long-standing pet subject of his, human capital resource development. And so I'd like you to speak a bit on that, that it's really about our tomorrows, not about today.
Yes. In Nigeria, we have everything we need. Everything Nigeria needs, we have it. Be it education, be it expert, be it whatsoever. What we only don't have is the leadership, the committed leader. And now we have one. That is why, see, he has the courage, very, very good courage, to take some decisions that cannot be taken by a person who is not courageous. Scrapping in totality of board and the management of NNPC for the first time since independence. This is only for a courageous person, only someone who is courageous. This tax reform is only for a courageous president, because this tax reform is for the nation building. It has been reduced to develop the local content, the local industries, the grassroots, the small industries. And the small industries are the machinery moving the economy of any nation, because they are the larger in number, they are the larger in production, and they produce what people need at their own grassroots level. So if we can produce what we can consume at the grassroots, then at the middle stage, we can still produce what we can consume. So if you observe, the tax is mainly on the higher income earners. So this is to tell you that Mr. President has the people of the grassroots at heart. And that is why we come to encourage him, and we come to support him, and we give him absolute support, even beyond 2027, even beyond 2031, for him to continue with these reforms. Because if you want to reform a nation, you reform the grassroots. The grassroots are the machineries, they are the buyers, they are almost 80 to 85% of the population. So the courageous you are hearing we are saying by Mr. President, we at the grassroots not know why we are saying that. Because we have seen some bold decisions that cannot be taken, decisions that cannot be taken by some certain leaders, even if they want to, even if they know those decisions are good, even they know it's the best, but due to some certain influence, they could not take those decisions. But now we have the president, and if you observe, majority of our governors, compare, let me give you example of my state, Kebbi State. The governor in Kebbi State performed the projects was 8 years of some governors in the same state. You see, so we need people that are courageous, that can do something, that can take bold steps. That is only what Nigeria needs, and we have them now.
Indeed.
And inshallah, we are going to support them 100 over 100, and they have our absolute support at the grassroots. We know what they are doing up there, and we pray for them for good guidance and assistance. They should ignore the critics.
Exactly.
We know people who are criticizing Nigeria for 40 years, yet they cannot add a single value. Now we have people that can add value to our life. They can add value to the generation coming. So we have to support our governors. We have to support Mr. President.
Indeed.
The NGOs we are leading now, we know what we have seen, we know what we are seeing before, and we know what we are seeing now.
Indeed.
So we definitely know that he is courageous, and we want all the governors, all the people of Nigeria to emulate him.
You know, thank you very much. And Prince Oyeludo Oladele, you know, continuing from where Alaji's idea in that last answer, the president was explaining in his speech that you know, it was necessary to end the corrupt, and I'm quoting him directly here, it was necessary to end the corrupt fuel subsidies and multiple foreign exchange rates that created massive incentives for a rentier economy, that is rent seekers. Just because you are well connected, just because you are there, you were just being paid for nothing. So it's like the president really has the back of the ordinary person. He has the back of the common man. He was speaking about his administration having redirected the economy towards a more inclusive path and has been channeling money to fund education, healthcare, national security, agriculture, and the entire economic infrastructure. Let me just take security there, Prince Oladele. Talk to me about security, whereas we see what the president is working on in all the other areas I mentioned. I'm sure, and just as he said, his administration, Tinubu Shetima, they have invested in, I'm sure they wouldn't have excluded security. But what are your thoughts about the state of our security up and down the country?
Thank you very much. Just like you said earlier before, that the president chose the paths of tomorrow against the comfort of...
it was the president who said it. I quoted him.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
And the truth is, there is no how a president will remove the fuel subsidy that ordinary Nigeria will not complain, because it will definitely affect everybody. But all the presidential candidates in 2023 attested to it that they are going to remove fuel subsidy. And if a president emerged and remove it now, I don't think anybody should have any cause for alarm. And that's why all of them, the opposition, find it difficult to claim that they are going to return back fuel subsidy if they defeated the sitting president.
Yes.
They cannot say that. Only the excuses they will be given is that the president is supposed to put some certain things in place before he removes the fuel subsidy. But it is not that, because there are actions that you need to take when you need to take it. And if you fail to do it at that appropriate time, you find it difficult to do it. On the issue of security, you know, the fuel subsidy removal, which has increased the allocation that is going to the 3 tiers of government, will definitely help, has definitely helped the security situation in the country. But you know, most times when the election is fast approaching, you'll begin to see different things happening in different states, in different places. And you know, politicians are involved in it. The citizens in villages, in states, in local governments are also, you know, corporates.
Okay.
That is just the truth. Because if you look at the indices, if you look at the past and the present, the current NSA and the security agencies, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, they have tried a lot. They have eliminated a lot of Boko Haram leaders, bandits leaders, and still we are still seeing some kind of level of insecurity now, because election is fast approaching, and that's just the truth.
Okay.
The only thing I think we should do is we encourage our people at the grassroots to avoid working with bandits and you know, all these evil people across the country.
Okay.
And the other thing is that if the money that is going to the local government and the states are well utilized, it will help the security situation in every local government, in every ward, in every unit, in every state across the country.
Okay.
But the money is not going down straight to the grassroots.
But things are changing now.
Like
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Things are changing now. And I have someone on the line.
Yes.
So let me just quickly take this call. Who is on the line? Good morning.
Okay.
Good morning. Well, that person is listening through his television set. If you want us to pick you up, please mute your television set.
Hello. Hello, this is AIG Durosimi on the line.
Ah, good morning, Dr. Durosimi. Can you make sure you don't listen off your TV set? Don't listen off your TV set.
Yes, I've done that.
Okay.
The president has spent only 2 years, but it is not less than 6 years by my estimation.
I hear you.
Yes, my TV set is off.
No.
Problem in the station.
We passed that. We passed that. You are doing well now.
What he has done is not less than 6 years by rating.
Okay.
He created Ministry of Blue Economy to be able to marshal the resources on our sea. From Badagry to Calabar, we have not less than 850 kilometers of seashore. No president has ever thought it necessary to create a ministry to be able to harness the resources in the Atlantic Ocean. Number two, he created the Ministry of Livestock so that they can solve all the problems of farmers' herders clashes. The ministry will bring in modern livestock to Nigeria, which will not need to be moving from one point to another. A whole ministry, it has never happened.
Okay.
Finally, he actually made impact by bringing one of the best heads to head the solid mineral ministry. This solid mineral in Nigeria can as well give out enough resources, just like oil, like a crude oil.
Okay.
People have been stealing our gold. People have been stealing our solid mineral precious stones. But with Atlake there, I'm sure good things are going to be good. And they are already bringing money.
Indeed.
President Tinubu
thank you.
Actually brought in loan
for
students in Nigeria. It has never happened. And when you look at the tax reform, that is boldness to the highest order. Which more money will come. The tax dragnet is now more than what is necessary.
Okay, Dr. Durosimi, thank you very much. Really appreciate your contribution. Thank you very much for calling in. Alhaji Mohammed Anache, the other thing that I wanted to bring up here is, look, the president, you remember, okay, he's been 28 months in office. He himself said so. We just approximate that to around 2 years. You remember in the first part of his administration, he was busy globe-trotting, looking for partners to come into Nigeria. Say, Nigeria is open for business. We are ready. And so this is why the matter of security that we were talking about is very, very important, because the world has become a global village. And so as we are having our troubles, the very people the president was speaking to will be hearing this and perhaps might be worrying. What do you think?
You see, when he comes in, the issue of insecurity is on the higher level. Compared to now, after 2 years, it has reduced drastically. So those areas that are not being accessible are now accessible in so many states, especially in the Northwest, where this banditry, kidnapping, and the attacks were rampant. We still have some little problems somewhere, but most of the areas were actually being cleared off, and they are now being accessible, and our farmers were there. You see, the problem we are having is that sometimes we have some certain people that doesn't want to set the true picture of Nigeria somewhere. The problem is the middlemen. The middlemen are people that are taken from the poor men and channeling it to the higher class people. So these middlemen are our problem.
Okay.
So for example now, when Mr. President comes in, the bag of millet is about 100,000. So he worked hard in this year and he reduced it to 15,000. Now the middlemen are saying he's killing their business. So
okay.
You see the
you know what, Alhaji? I'm so sorry to be rushing you, but I want to thank you very much for coming on our program. You know, I was enjoying your contribution, but we have to clear the studio in Abuja around now. Sorry, I got it mixed up. No, you are good, Alhaji. It is the prince that I need to be apologizing to, that we're going to have to leave him now, and thanking you for your contribution, because we have to clear the studio in Abuja where you are at now. But our deepest gratitude for coming on the program. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Very much.
All right then. Okay. So switching back to Alhaji Usman Mohammed. Please continue, sir.
Yes. So these middlemen now are our problem. You see, for example, recently, Mr. President allowed the private individual to supply the fuel freely to Nigerians so that the grassroots, we at the grassroots, we can have this commodity at cheaper price. But the middlemen come in, claiming that they will lose their jobs. So these are some of the problems that only a courageous leader can handle. So you see, that is what we are saying. That what is our own major problem. Some people have to suck our blood at the grassroots before they can build their empire. So the president say no. Let the grassroots people enjoy. Let the grassroots people. And I can remember the Senate president has once said, "Let the poor man breathe."
Yes.
I didn't understand what he's saying until recently, when Mr. President is also doing the same thing. So now I understand what the two are trying to do. And thank God, there is very good synergy and the cooperation between the governors and the president.
Okay, then. I have a caller. I beg your pardon, Alaji. I have a caller on the line. Good morning. Ade in the UK. Can you hear us? Good morning.
I'm hearing you faintly, but I know you can hear me.
Oh.
I just want to speak about my beautiful country, Nigeria. I want to thank the president, even though I wasn't one of his supporters during the
we know.
Muslim
We know.
But when I now saw what this man is doing, in fact, he's doing something now that the generation times 4, when they come, they will pray for him. Number one, you see the education is very, very important for our children. All my children went to university in UK. I didn't pay a dime. Government paid for it. And that's exactly what we do in Nigeria. So people go to university who never think they can have the money. But now, people don't know, and it's the northern people that benefited most, according to Babangide, Shokoto, many people. So, what we brought now, people will not know it. Then, when we cancel this subsidy, people are crying. But look at now, every government is confessing that they have much money to spend. They are not borrowing. So they are developing wherever they are. So this division of this man, if Nigeria can understand, in fact, it will vote in National Assembly for second time without election. Because this man, by the time he finishes 8 years, Nigeria will be better than UK.
Yes. Thank you very much for calling in. I appreciate you. It's been quite a while since we've heard from you. Alaji, again, yeah, I relate to that. But sorry, did you want to interject? Did you want to say something? Please go ahead.
Okay, on the middlemen.
Okay.
Because now their business is now being down, and the grassroots we are now enjoying.
Yes. And that is how it should be. The president has he has the welfare of the ordinary person, as far as I can see. Well, I guess there's no president who has come in the past up till now will admit to being any less. But with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Tinubu-Shettima, administration, you see it. You see efforts that are being made to just bring succor to the people. And to that extent, as Mr. Ade in the UK was just saying, even generations yet unborn will come to appreciate what the president, has been doing. Okay, so well, here we are now. I guess one wonders why some people, I'm talking about the opposition coalition, will now concern themselves exclusively with replacing President Tinubu in office. I mean, you've not told us what you'll do that's going to match what we've been talking about and surpass it. But the strict concern seems to be, we let him go. He has to go. We will replace him. So just tell me just a word on that, because we don't have the time anymore. But is it not strange in this country of ours?
They are one of the enemies of the masses. They don't like the masses. That is why they are saying it, because if President Tinubu continue and we were being liberated, they will not tell us any lies again. And none of them can even close match to President Tinubu today. And all of that has been tested before. What have they achieved?
Let's leave it there. Let's leave it there, Alhaji. Thank you very much. Alhaji Usman Mohammed Anache, Grassroots Advocacy for Peace and Good Governance. I want to thank you very much for coming along to speak with us this morning. Really do appreciate you. As we do appreciate Prince Oyelude Oladele, DG Tinubu Shetima, our ambassadors. We're going to have to leave it there today. Do please join us tomorrow for, a fresh edition. I am Iyori Folari. Bye-bye for now.